So as we come together, maybe close our eyes and straighten our spines and just soften the tension in our bodies. Soften the tension in your throat. Soften the tension in your neck. Soften the tension in your back. And just start to feel your mind become calm. Envisioning it like waves that are just slowly flattening out. As each thought passes through, we are not clinging to this thought. We are the observer of this thought. And we're just going to do some breathing exercises to breathe down into our body. We're going to breathe in through our nose, expanding our belly, and out through our mouth. And we're going to do 10 of these breaths together. Breathing in, hold at the top, exhale. Breathe in for 3 seconds, hold at the top, exhale for 3 seconds. And that's how it's going to go. We're going to do 10 of these breaths together. Ready? Begin. And I just want you to feel the lightness entering your body, feeling this swirling around, feeling this divine energy circulating through you. Maybe you feel some tingling sensations, some light vibrations. This is the new earth being born, and we are part of this new earth. We are shedding the old selves. We are ascending together. We are feeling our light bodies being activated. Grounding all of this down, feeling all the energy being sent to our feet and out through our feet. Grounding down, feeling yourself calm, centered, grounded. Just breathing softly, calming your mind, opening your heart, even if it wants to close in this moment. Feeling all that you are, all of your beauty, all of your worthiness, all of your love, all of your light. All of your health. Just feeling it all as this light continues just to permeate through you. And just continuing to quiet your mind, shutting off your mind, and getting into your body, and just doing a scan of your body, feeling where there's tension trapped within your body right now. Maybe it's in your shoulder blades because you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Or maybe there's fear in your belly. Just softening and letting that go. Saying to yourself, this isn't mine. I no longer carry it. Say it out loud with me right now. This pain is no longer mine. I no longer carry it. This pain is no longer mine. I no longer carry it. This pain is no longer mine. I no longer carry it. I free myself from this pain. And as we come together, may we put our hands in a prayer position to send our love out to all beings in this universe, to all of our fellow soul family members, to send them our positive vibrations, our loving vibrations, to give them exactly what they need in this moment. You are the change. You are the light. Anchor into this part in yourself. And when we stopped this meditation, we had exactly 111 viewers. Tell me that's not divine alignment right there, baby. I love you all so much, man. I just really am blessed to be able to do this. And I'm blessed to have found that sense of calling within myself to really want to help other people. So at this point, I'm going to take some live questions, and I'm going to rip through these questions like rapid fire style. I'm not going to go too long-winded into them. And this is really just going to help us to kind of cleanse our energy field and kind of let go of the stuff we're holding on to. And once again, if you're not subscribed to my podcast, The Awake with Jake Show, I will be posting this live transmission to my podcast within the next 24 hours. So please ask a question and allow your question to be specific. Don't ask general questions. They will not get answered. I will just go by them. Much love to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jake. It was a great moment. All right, great. So let's get some questions flowing now. Thank you, my brother Audi. Best podcast ever. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you. I love you too. I could feel that tension in your shoulder. You got to stop carrying other people's pain too. Pibble mom, you're carrying other people's pain. It's not yours. Can you talk more about Peter Pan syndrome? I think Peter Pan syndrome is interesting because it anchors into the flighty feminine as well. Now, when you think of Peter Pan, you may think of just a man, but it's not always a man because women do this stuff as well. And it's not even necessarily to be within a relationship, right? Because flighty feminine means that your feminine has become really imbalanced and you're very ungrounded, okay? Now, imagine it'll manifest like this. Imagine a plane that takes off and it's always in flight and it never takes time to ground, which is the masculine energy, to ground down and recharge and refuel, okay? So you have both masculine and feminine energies, as you all know. And when you don't take the time to ground your feminine with your divine masculine, you develop this flighty feminine syndrome. Now, within a man, he may really struggle with commitment. Okay, he may be struggling to commit to friendships, maybe to relationships. He may have multiple sexual partners. There's no judgment here either, you know? These are all things I've learned and experienced myself. This is how I know these things. And when he's not willing to commit because he fears commitment, his feminine energy may be imbalanced as well. He may be carrying some type of mother wounds or some shame around that sense of deep devotional commitment to one relationship. And it's not that it's right or wrong to be committed or non-committed or to be in a relationship with one person or many people. It's just, these are how these things can manifest, okay? So Peter Pan syndrome is really the imbalance within the feminine energy, not being grounded down, not being in harmony with your masculine energy. So if you notice your life is very disorganized, very chaotic, very all over the place, and you have no structure in your life, then you could potentially be struggling with this Peter Pan syndrome or this flighty feminine syndrome. We could call it that as well. And, you know, I've noticed that with a lot of the women that I've worked with over the years, they get really in their feminine a lot, and they don't know how to ground down their feminine energy. So they have all this expression and creativity and all these ideas, but they have no structure to bring these ideas to life. And that's just one example. Or their life can manifest as very chaotic and kind of all over the place. Now with men, what I've seen with a lot of men that I've worked with over the years is they really struggle to commit to one thing, whether it's their purpose, which is the masculine energy is all about having a deep purpose and a mission, or whether to one romantic relationship and they really struggle with that commitment. How do you break the cycle of attracting narcissistic people? What is the inner work that needs to be done? Beautiful question. Instead of labeling these people as narcissistic or not narcissistic, take a look at yourself and ask yourself, what parts of myself is still narcissistic? Are you a perfectionist? Are you trying to be or manifest the perfect partner? Because there's so many different traits to narcissism, but oftentimes with narcissism, we blame everyone else, but we don't realize that vibrationally, we attracted them. They're mirroring back our own inner wounds. So if you want to stop attracting these narcissistic people, then there's probably parts of yourself, shadow parts of yourself, deeply repressed parts of yourself that you haven't acknowledged that continues to manifest these type of people. Maybe you have a father wound, a deep-seated father wound that's unresolved trauma because he abandoned you. And now you continue to attract these emotionally unavailable partners and they just use you, which then you label as narcissistic. But really, they're just your father manifesting in the form of your own wound. Appreciate you. Thank you. How do I open up my root chakra? Root chakra is all around safety, security, survival. If you don't feel safe, if you don't feel like you're going to survive, if you don't feel secure, then it's very difficult to open your root chakra. So I think within your life, identify the areas of your life that you don't feel safe. If it's at a job, if it's in a relationship, if it's in your own home. Home is the big thing too. Your root chakra is your home base. So if you grew up in a very unstable, unhealthy environment like I did, my root chakra was very blocked for a long time because I didn't feel safe, secure, or grounded. So why don't you feel safe? Why don't you feel supported? Why don't you feel secure with yourself? How can I balance my energies in the times of uncertainty? If you're more of a masculine identified person, once again, we all have both energies. If you're more of a masculine identified person, I would say to sit down and meditate. Meditation is really good for masculine people to sit down, get focused, get still. If you're more of a feminine identified person, do some primal feminine dancing. Turn on some sensual music and move your body in a sensual, sexual way to get this flow of energy to move. Because that feminine energy wants to move within your body. And if she is stuck, then she becomes chaotic. Okay? So try some primal feminine movements. And I'm telling you, it will really open you up. You might even start crying, all kinds of stuff going on. You're waking up to feeling parts of yourself, all the sensations in your body. It's beautiful. And if you're more of a masculine identified person, ground yourself through meditation. And I have plenty of guided meditations on my podcast as well that you can tune into. What can I do to stay grounded? Once again, meditate. Have a daily spiritual practice to either meditate, which I think you can really do both. I feel you should do both, and move your body in a way that is rhythmic to your feminine energy, the flow of your feminine energy. So you're going to ground yourself with the meditation, 20, 30 minutes of meditation, whether you're listening to a guided meditation through my podcast or your own style meditation. Ground yourself daily with meditation and move your body to get into the rhythmic flow of your feminine heart. Please ask specific questions too. There's a lot of general questions coming through right now. I want specific questions. So I'm just going to keep scrolling by them here. How do I stop carrying other people's pain? How do I know whether it's my energy or the collective? Ask yourself this question. Why do you feel guilty if you don't carry other people's pain? You have a model built that says, I should carry their pain because I don't want them to suffer, which is actually coming from a very deeply loving place within you, but it really doesn't serve them and it doesn't serve you because you end up like emotionally and energetically sick. So it's your own guilt and your own shame for not carrying their pain. And maybe you had a mother that projected all her shame and guilt onto you and you just absorbed that as a beautiful little innocent sentient being. How can I control my thoughts? Been trying for the past few months. Instead of trying to control your thoughts, just observe your thoughts. If you get all wrapped up in trying to control your thoughts, that's your own ego. That's your ego saying, how can I bring control to my thoughts? Instead, just witness your thoughts as like clouds passing through. When you start trying to control your thoughts, you begin this whole attachment to your thoughts. And in the moment that you start attaching yourself to your thoughts because you're trying to control them is the moment that you suffer. That was me before I went to the retreat, so thank you. Yeah, Jasmine attended my last spiritual healing retreat. She had some amazing breakthroughs. How do I unlock the more of the pure joy that is naturally within? Coming from a repressed family, I tend to turn to doubt, shame, guilt a lot of the time when things get hard. How did you unlock joy? One word, healing. The more that you heal yourself, the more that you break these patterns, these unconscious patterns of suffering. So the first step in all healing is the awareness. So if you don't have awareness of your patterns, which just sounds like you're already starting to identify some of your patterns, then how can you shift anything? The next thing is the feeling aspect, to actually get into it, get into the emotion that is trapped and stuck in your body that continues to manifest as these unconscious pains and release it. Maybe that's crying it out and forgiving people that have hurt you. Maybe your father was abusive towards you. Maybe your mother did something to you. Maybe you were sexually abused. Identify the people in your life that have hurt you and forgive them. Open your heart to them and just start forgiving and releasing, and then turn all of that love and forgiveness inward. Because you, especially this person that asked this question, are very hard on yourself. So my question for you is, when are you going to start being gentle with yourself along your healing process? How do I have more patience and calmness to keep harmony, especially around the kids? Here's what's coming through for that question. Use your kids as like little teachers, use them as ways to help you deepen your spiritual practice. So children are very unpredictable. They're just all wild in their feminine energy. They don't really care about anything. They don't, it's really a beautiful thing to watch. But sometimes we can get very annoyed with children because they're so all over the place. So be the grounded energy yourself and just observe the playfulness of your children, because what they're really mirroring back to you is your own inner child. So if you start trying to repress your children because they're annoying you or triggering you, then you're really only repressing your own childlike innocence. You're only repressing your own inner child. So I would say, look at them as reflections of your own inner child, and what would you say or do or give to your inner child in that moment? If we attract bad people, does that always mean you attract them? Good and bad is living in the world of duality, okay? I don't believe in good and bad. If you're viewing it as bad, that's your ego separating and saying, this is bad, this is good. So I would say, first of all, let go of the labels of good and bad and just ask yourself, why is this person coming into my life? What are they being sent to teach me? Everyone that shows up in your reality carries codes with them that can help you upgrade your whole entire energetic system. How can we deal with a partner that becomes mean when he's going through a hard time? First of all, do not tolerate any type of abuse within a relationship. If your partner is going through a hard time and they start projecting all their stuff on you, you set a boundary with them. You tell them, listen, this doesn't resonate with me. This doesn't serve me. I need you to stop because I don't feel safe right now. And you say it just like that. You say it direct right at them, and you direct it right at them, just like that. Now, if they don't honor you and stop doing that, and they continue to repeat this pattern of abuse and they're being mean to you and they're putting you down or shaming you, whatever they're doing, then you leave that relationship, okay? Because just because someone's going through a hard time doesn't mean they get to treat you like shit. Please let this marinate and resonate with you. If someone is going through a hard time, that does not give them the excuse to treat you poorly. So ask yourself, does this serve my highest good in this moment? And if it doesn't, set a boundary with them and say, listen, I understand that you're going through a hard time right now, but I'm not going to be your punching bag. I'm not going to allow you to project all of your fears and worries and doubts onto me. I'm trying to heal myself right now, okay? I don't need all your stuff. This doesn't serve my space and it doesn't serve yours. So you can either clean it up or we're going to have to end this relationship, you know? Now, if they're like, okay, I'm really sorry, I was unaware of it, like I totally won't do that again, I'm just really having a hard time right now, then you're going to take on more of a masculine role in this moment. You're going to hold space while they process their emotions, while they're going through this feminine emotional state, which is very natural. And men can really flip into this and they don't know what's going on because they never access this feminine parts of themselves because they're like, oh, the feminine is so weak. Boy, let me tell you something, okay? When the feminine parts of yourself start waking up, get ready to start crying, sobbing, because you've repressed the feminine parts of yourself for so long. And once you wake that inner healer up, which is the divine feminine, get ready to be in full surrender because it hurts. I went through it for many, many years. How to feel safe with men after sexual abuse. I would say to tune in to your womb energy because a lot of that energy gets stored within your womb, especially women that go through sexual abuse. And then they carry with them a lot of shame and fear and unworthiness. Unworthiness is really big for sexual abuse because you think if I got abused sexually at a very young age, then I'm never going to be able to call in real true love. That's not true because you do deserve the divine love. And, you know, I was actually just working with someone yesterday on this whole exact situation. She had a sexual abuse situation when she was 12 years old. She was raped and she carried just with her so much unworthiness. She didn't feel worthy of love. And then because of that, it manifested as a lot of pain and shame and even cutting her off from being able to feel pleasure from sexuality and orgasms. So I would ask you, do you still carry with you that shame and that fear and that unworthiness? Because that's the first step, is really releasing that and really honestly cutting that anchor and that energetic cord to the person that sexually abused you. Because you still have an energetic cord if you haven't healed it. And you cut that by sending them your love and light and forgiving them. That doesn't mean you have to go meet with them in person or write them a letter or even talk to them ever again. You do this all internally. Most of the healing I ever did, 99% of the healing I ever did, and all the abuse that I went through with my father, my older sister Jocelyn, and her heroin addiction, was all done internally. So we forgive these people, we set them free, we free them from our energetic field. How do I know if my core is masculine or feminine? I actually have a quiz that you can take to discover your core identity. It definitely will help you. A lot of people ask that. The big thing with identifying your core energy is you got to ask yourself in relationship too. I'm talking about romantic relationships because this is more clear for people. In relationship, do you want your feelings to be cherished or do you want your logical ideas to be respected? And that's really a main question. Do you want to be the leader most of the time in the relationship, or do you want to be led in surrender? Those are just a couple questions that you can ask yourself. I have been feeling a block in my throat chakra for a few months now. How can I heal? By giving yourself permission to speak your truth. How do I face family issues during this quarantine? Well, especially if you're living with your family right now and you're in the quarantine with them, use each of every single one of them as your teacher, as your mentor in that moment. You know, you can sit there and continue to hate them and resent them and everything else, or you can open your heart to them and love them, because we grow the most where the fire burns the hottest. And if you can start transforming and transmuting that pain and that anger and frustration you feel into love, it will start circulating in all areas of your life. I love you all so much. Do you feel that the new shift is divine feminine coming in? I absolutely do think this is all a part of the divine feminine rising. And there's many different aspects, you know, with this whole coronavirus thing. It's a very sensitive subject right now. A lot of people are feeling very unsafe and very threatened. I think that we're all getting a chance to go inward and reflect to heal our wounds. What better time than being quarantined to sit down and meditate and ask yourself, what wounds do I need to be healed, or do I need to heal? And we can ask ourselves these questions. We can explore within ourselves the parts that we've repressed. You know, I think this is the universe's way of kind of just sending us all to our bedrooms and putting us in a timeout. It's almost like a very stern mother. You know, have you ever had like a mother put you in timeout because you're being really bad? Well, at a collective consciousness, I feel like, because we've been mistreating the planet, we've been mistreating each other, you know, this type of virus is shown up in our experience. If we have to look at it from a 5D level too, not 3D spreading fear and pandemic, I'm going to look at it from a 5D level. Why is this really here? What's the reason that source energy sent this to us? To learn, to grow, to ascend. So we're birthing the new earth. And the other day, I was in a deep state of meditation. I kept asking myself, and this was before this whole kind of pandemic started, but I felt the coronavirus arising. And I just heard this word birth. I'm like, why is this word birth keep showing up? And I did a little research, and corona stands for crown. So crown chakra, which is your connection to God, source, whatever you want to call it, the universe, you can call it for Joe for all I care. And it's our connection to that energy, that divine energy. So that seal is being broke open so we can ascend in consciousness. Now, imagine it like this. In order for that to happen, we have to energetically let go and kill the old parts of ourself that are not allowing us to ascend, okay? So crown is the opening of our crown. Corona is crown. It's the opening of our crown. And the crown is the seventh chakra, the highest energy center, where we connect to that divine energy. And for those of you that ever had a crown opening, it is like buzzing. This that type of experience. You think of like an orgasm times 1,000, because it's so much higher than anything your body can experience. It just, you can't explain it. And with that also, we're being aligned with our true selves. Crown's opening up. Imagine it like this. When a woman gives birth, when that baby's head comes out, it's called crowning. So we're giving birth to this new earth right now in this moment. And with that comes pain and fear and destruction of the old paradigms, of the old patriarchal ways that have been not serving us for many, many lifetimes. What about your retreat in April? My retreat in April has been postponed to September 25th through the 29th, and I'll be opening that back up soon. We're going to have a few spots for that opening up. I don't feel safe around men who show care towards me in general. How do I work around that? My question for you is, are you comfortable with receiving that divine masculine love? And if you aren't, then is it because you never received it or never got it from your own father? Your father generally represents the divine masculine energy. Your mother generally represents the divine feminine energy. Now that can be flip-flop, and the mothers can absolutely carry the masculine energy and the father can absolutely carry the feminine energy, because we have both energies. It has nothing to do with your gender. So if you didn't ever get that from your father, who's the first man that you really loved, maybe he abandoned you or whatever caregiver you were first exposed to, you didn't feel worthy of it. So now when you call in these partners, they're mirroring back to you your own unworthiness around receiving their love. Because caring for another person is a feeling of love. They want to give you your love, which they're giving you a masculine gift, but the wounded parts of yourself are saying, no, I don't deserve this right now. I'm not worthy of it. So I would explore that within yourself. All right, I'm going to take a couple more questions here, then I'm going to jump off this. I appreciate all the beautiful questions too. And thank you all so much for taking the time to tune in to this live stream. If it's bringing you value and if it's brought you value, take a screenshot of this, share it to your Instagram story and tag me in it. It would mean the world to me because that helps me get my message out to more people. I love you all too. Thank you so much for being here. How do you find answers for tough questions? Like I'm debating on applying to medical school and not sure how to navigate because I'm shut off to my intuition at times. My question is, why have you repressed the feminine parts of yourself? If you're cut off from your intuition, you're cut off from your feeling, you're cut off from your emotions, then you'll be in your logical masculine mind all the time. And that's going to cause you immense amounts of stress in your life. You may even start to feel pains in your heart center and your shoulders and your upper back where you're locking in all this masculine energy. So connect to your divine feminine energy and ask her if this path of going to medical school serves me. And when you ask that question, you will get a response in your body. Okay. When you wake up to feeling parts of yourself, the feminine parts of yourself, you will get responses in your body. And if it doesn't feel right and you feel a ton of resistance around it, that's your body's way of saying, no, choose a different path. Like I said before, too, this is going to be aired as a podcast as well. So if you want to listen to this on my podcast, it's called The Awake with Jake Show. If you're not already tuned into it, I highly recommend it. I got a bunch of guided meditations on there. Any advice for loving someone who is working through healing their trauma, father abandonment, addict in the family? We have similar trauma, but I need love, whereas he pulls away. So what you're experiencing right now is a mirror of your own trauma. And what you said, you said you have similar trauma, but really it's mirroring back the own trauma, just the things that you don't identify with. You say, this isn't mine, this is yours. I would look at everything that shows up in that relationship as the mirror and the reflection of what you need to heal. Now, when it comes to trying to work together and heal together, it can be very difficult because there's so much charge within relationships because we both bring all of our stuff into that relationship. Now, when you're working on yourself and you're working on healing yourself, this is going to take some time to open up the feeling parts of yourself, especially if you have repressed and closed those down. So if you notice that when you're wanting love, but he's pulling away, you have to communicate to him in that moment and just say, listen, right now, I would like to just receive your love. Can you give that to me? It would make me feel amazing if I could just feel supported by you in this moment, which is really what you're asking, is his masculine energy to support your feminine energy in that moment, which is beautiful. And this is divine union. Now, when he's going through an emotional time, he can say similar things as well. Hey, listen, I'm just feeling a little off right now. I would just love some support in this moment. And you guys work towards harmonizing each other's inner masculine and inner feminine. That's what you're doing. By supporting and loving and communicating with each other, you will open up new pathways to love deeper than you have ever thought possible within this relationship. Now, if you can't seem to get this flow going where you're kind of giving and receiving and you're loving and supporting, then eventually you're both going to be like two wounded inner child, two wounded children. And you're going to be like, no, I want love. I want support. I want love. I want support. And that's where the relationship starts to become unhealthy. And that's where we get to choose, does this serve my path? Because it's actually making my healing process more of a struggle. So communication, love, support, but you really have to get uncomfortable with communicating how you feel to that person. If it doesn't feel right in that moment, you have to say to that person, hey, listen, I'm feeling very unsafe right now. I would just like to feel your love and support. Can I have that from you in this moment while I process this emotion? Or, hey, I just need some space right now. Can you just honor my space for a little bit and I'll get right back to center after I work through this? There's just very clear dialogue. So that would be my input on that. Thank you so much for all the beautiful and amazing questions. Once again, if this episode brought you value, feel free to take a screenshot of it and share it to your Instagram story. And when you do, be sure to tag me in it. I love you all so much. And as always, stay open, stay loving, and stay connected to that beautiful source within you.